another episode of A Wee Touch of Madness, the video podcast hosted by me, Loz, every single week. And now this week I have a brand new guest with me today. I have Protect Your Heart. You right, guys? How you doing?
Ooh, good. How are you?
Well,
awesome stuff. So how you guys been keeping?
We've been keeping.
Yeah, we've been keeping. Staying
Crazy
busy.
time,
I
but
mean, despite we've been keeping. I guess is the best way to put it.
Been keeping right.
We're doing well. Just trying a way to get through. You know,
trying to find a way to get through. Guys, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and the sort of music that you do to the people out there who may not be aware of who you are and what you deliver?
I think the probably most apt way to describe what we're doing is in our Instagram bio, which is pop punk with breakdowns. But I think there's a lot, we're kind of all over the place in terms of like labeling it as pop punk, because we have so many different influences, and we all came from dance music and making like drum and bass and dubstep and electro house and all that kind of stuff. So we try and put a lot of that stuff in there. Jake is a huge metalhead, so there's a lot of metal influence. There's a lot of, we're kind of all over the place a little bit, but that was what we kind of set out to do.
A nice little bit of metal influence. Now I definitely picked that up in the track in the song that you sent me, and we are going to touch on that a little bit more later on down the line. So we've got a little bit of a surprise for everybody at home. If you're just sat on your ass watching this or cleaning the kitchen and you've got it playing in the background, we've got a little surprise for you later on in the show, so make sure you stay tuned to check that out. So other than like those little bits of influences that you've just mentioned that kind of embody your music, is there like what the influences that you guys have that actually got you into making music in the first place?
It varies from all of us. For me, it's Metallica. They're like my favorite band of all time. Obsessed. I think like the joke is like our two main influences for the band is like Metallica and Blink-182.
Yeah. Oh, please don't start the Blink-182 thing again. Now, everybody, if you remember last time from my last episode with Waiver Wire, there was a counter for every time
oh no,
Blink-182 was mentioned. So let's please not start that one again.
Well, that's Kian. That's not me. So.
Well, I guess that leads into my answer.
Yep.
I kind of like music was always in my house. My mom played violin, my grandpa played piano, all this stuff. And in going into sixth grade, our school made us either join choir or band.
You make it sound as if you were forced at gunpoint. I mean, being in America, I wouldn't be surprised being forced at gunpoint, but
well, and where I'm from,
it
wouldn't be it wouldn't be surprising. But I mean, I grew up playing hockey and baseball and all this stuff, and never really gave too much of a shit about music in terms of like making it or playing it.
Look at that, we just lost Kian. He's in a band and he said he didn't give too much shit about making music, so we've just lost Kian from the interview. That's a surprise.
No, but they made us choose one, and I was like, what's the coolest instrument in school band? And it was drums. And so once I made that decision, my mom went to the local music store and bought me this beater, like $300 kit, and I didn't want to play it. And then she got me drum lessons from a dude that played in a local rock band. And on like day one, he's basically like, so what do you like to listen to? What do you want to learn? And pretty much before he even taught me like, kick on the one, snare on the two kind of thing, he started teaching me how to listen to the songs that I liked and learn the parts. And once that happened, I started just playing stuff I wanted to play, which was, I'm not going to say it because I don't want the counter.
You alone will be responsible for this counter.
but once I started learning like Travis Barker stuff, it got really fun. Smooth. And then thank you. It got really fun for me.
That's one.
And there's some.
That's a 0.5.
There are some dudes.
By proxy.
There's some dudes in my middle school that like played guitar and heard that I was playing drums, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to like come over and jam in the garage?" And then ever since then, it was like that's all I really cared about outside of continuing on with sports. But I was actually supposed to play drums in this band, but I'm a little out of practice because I don't have a place to practice. So guitar it is now. But
See, I did actually kind of get the feeling that you were a drummer at heart just by your whole like general demeanor, and from the pre-chat that we had at this before the recording of this, it was just that whole vibe you were giving off to me. So it's like, yeah, I sit here, I bang a drum, me bang drum good, grr.
Yeah, dude, that's my vibe for sure. I have my kit around me in pieces because I have nowhere to put it. But yeah, it just living in Hollywood, it's very difficult to find a place where you're not going to get evicted for making too much noise. So I can practice all the guitars in relative silence. So that's
You can always practice out on the street then if you get evicted. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys call it over there, but over here we call it busking, where you're out on the street and you're playing to the public to earn a couple of pennies.
Yeah, I don't think my wife would like that so much to not have a house, but I'll run it by her.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, you never know, it might lead.
Yeah, just a suggestion.
It's like, look, we can either stay in our house or we can live on the streets, but I could play the drums all the time.
Yeah, beg for pennies.
Who needs a roof over your head when you've got the pretty stars, although you can't see them under the light pollution from Hollywood?
But babe, I got this new truth drum kit. It's so sparkly.
And it's not like you'd be out of work.
Yeah, you'll be working.
If anything,
you're working, you're just not making money.
You save money because now you're not paying rent.
These are all good, valid points.
Yeah.
See, not only is this a music-based podcast where we talk to various different bands and artists every single week, this is also a self-help group as well, where we give you advice on how you can proceed and grow in your music career.
Seems more like a shit talk seminar.
Thank you.
In 1 year we do we reconnect and see what Protect Your Heart had been up to for the 2022 year, and we're like, okay, after a year of homelessness, we have finally dug ourselves from the depths of Hollywood and Vine.
Anyone else want to jump on the influences one before we go completely off the tangent?
We have like 5 minutes into the chat.
Protect your podcast.
Straight off the cliff.
Yeah. For real.
I actually, like Kian, I grew up a sports player. I played basketball and was I made the college team, and that was going to be what I was going to spend most of my time doing. I wasn't until I was like 19 years old that I decided I wanted to start singing. So I just kind of was driving around one day and realized I could sing the stuff that was on the radio. And I was like, okay, I want to do a band now. I love music too much not to give it a try. And it took me a while. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but it was fun to just kind of jump into a whole new world and quit sports just to try out for a band that, I had like one practice and it went nowhere, but I just stuck with it, and I'm glad I fucking did.
Well, that's great advice there to anyone. Sports suck. Music is everything. Music is life, but sports suck. And everyone out there who knows me personally knows how much I like sports. Go sports teams. Fuck sports.
Sports.
Score a goal unit basket. Go sports. Yeah, sports.
Dude,
Go
sports.
Legit, that was my ideology though. Like I always said, my parents make fun of me for it. I said sports are for noobs, just because I hated sports as a kid. Because all I wanted to do was just play guitar and like listen to music and stuff. Like,
but the one thing I don't get, American football, for instance, it's not a fucking football. It's a rugby ball that you fucking run up at. It's basically rugby, but more pussy-like because you wear.
No, it's way better. People are tackling each other. Because football, they only score like twice in like 2 hours. So boring.
You attack each other in rugby, but you don't use padding. You use raw man.
Well, rugby's tight. Rugby's tight.
I like rugby. Rugby.
Soccer snore fest.
No, it's called football, not soccer.
Soccer.
Fucking soccer.
I feel like we could have a 2-hour podcast just discussing cultural differences.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Have a point at the pub.
I'm gonna edit this bit out, so don't worry. All right, my wife, she overheard that you guys are in Hollywood, and she wants to ask if you have ever been to that restaurant, Sir.
Sir?
Yeah.
No, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, you know which.
I don't think so. Yeah.
SUR.
No.
What street?
It's a little bougie for us.
It's in WeHo.
It's in WeHo, apparently.
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood.
Yeah,
It's
That's where Kian lives. Yeah, I used to live there too.
Like it's on the something like the center.
I don't care, but no, they haven't been there. They know which
Wait,
one you're on about.
And
I
Tom,
think, yeah.
Kinda like
And
the
Pump.
Van
Bougie?
Halen.
and Tom Tom.
Vanderpump Rules, yeah.
And Tom
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. It's like bougie.
It's like bougie, so no, they haven't been there.
It's right near the Abbey.
Oh.
Not really not.
All right.
You know what
I've
that
got
like
really-
actually
Yeah, go, fuck off. Go.
He
Made
actually
me-
lives by Pumps and Tom
Yeah.
Toms.
Pumps. That made me think about like a funny like, experience I had
you know,
back in chat room. I'm from California. What's everybody up to? And it just somebody popped up into the chat and they're like, "Do you surf to school?" And I was like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Obviously,
Yeah, it's every day.
doesn't everybody?
Yeah,
You know
my
what, I don't-
school happens to be like right next to the wave. It's like perfect front row parking.
Oh yeah, well, it's hardly parking though. Is you're just surfing straight up to the beach and just leaving
Yeah.
it there, really, ain't you? I don't know if I should edit that bit out or not with my wife.
Keep it.
because that was actually
Yeah.
quite funny.
It was.
I
Keep it.
like it.
It
Keep
was
it.
quite funny. Yeah.
Keep it.
Well, okay, we'll keep it. Right. Unanimous decision. So with your music and all that, obviously you were saying you got like a little bit of have we even gotten through everyone with talking about
Ant.
their
We got Ant, yeah.
No.
I would say
I,
Ant's got
uh,
the
And Ant's
longest
East Coast
history.
too, so
I know,
he's different.
I got a probably a super long history. I grew up just like these guys, always listening to music, always listening to tunes. Like my uncle jokes about how when I was a little kid, I was always running around with headphones on, just like listening to stuff. And when I was, I don't know, maybe about like 11 or 12, my cousin, who was 18 at the time, moved in with me, and she introduced me to Nine Inch Nails, Queen, The Doors, Marilyn Manson, like you name it, Rage Against the Machine. She took me to my first concert, which was the Beastie Boys and A Tribe Called Quest,
Nice.
when I was like 13 or 14. And so around the time that she moved in, my mom just noticed a lot of how into it I was and bought me like the Fender Squire guitar amp kind of kit. That was probably like $100 or whatever. And I kind of didn't touch it for a little bit. And then as I got a little older and I was like getting more into it and more aware of it, started playing more and came up in bands. As coming up in bands, then I wound up in studios, either for bands I was in or helping out like other friends kind of record. And I got super into it there and was like, I want to learn how to do this for myself. And then that led to just working in studios full time in New York City. And then the more that I was in there, the less I was playing and the more I got into like producing. And then it all kind of just molded from there into where we are now. Just a combination of like writing records, DJing, touring, and kind of like producing and mixing and mastering.
Very interesting, and you are right. That was a very, very long-winded story.
That's the short version. It's definitely the
Yeah, that's
abridged.
it.
I would
That,
say
that was the short version. I started
Yeah.
this interview clean shaven. Now look at me. I've got a fucking full-on beard.
he
now.
skipped over at least a decade in there.
Yeah, probably more than that.
Well, I mean, we all kind of have a long history in music. Like we've done multiple projects, seen a lot of days in the music scene. So, which actually has served to really make this project, kind of become strong and have a good momentum very quickly. I mean, we released our first song only 6 months ago, but we're picking up steam pretty quickly, and we kind of had our ducks in a row from the first time we met each other. I mean, we've been on a roll ever since.
We screwed up
But I
too
think that,
many
like,
times before.
Yeah, in our past we've all screwed up plenty, so we know what not to
A
do.
lot, yeah.
Well, what's the point of growing up and growing as a person if you don't fucking screw up? Met my wife, and yeah,
Congrats.
That's awesome. So now you're
Yeah.
never leaving.
but we're not married yet. We're engaged, but yeah, I just say my wife because it's easier and it
Nice.
annoys her.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Are we invited to the wedding?
Well,
I would hope.
we are still looking for a wedding band.
Yeah. We could do some covers.
The answer is yes.
Blink 182 covers. That's
Yeah,
all we
well,
play.
Yeah.
Travis Barker covers.
What's that scene? What's that scene from Step Brothers? We are
Yep.
strictly a Billy Joel cover band. I forget what, like, it's a
Early
specific
80s?
album. Yeah,
It's a specific
Yeah.
time period.
Yeah, I know what scene you're on about.
Yeah.
I was actually watching that film not long ago as well, so I should remember that bit.
I know.
straight
I
away.
just watched it like a month ago, and I should have. Yeah. But-
Oh, this town's bullshit. This house is a prison on planet bullshit.
Why are you so sweaty?
Because the heating's on full blast. And
No, because you've been watching Cops.
why have I been watching? Pops. What
Oh,
the fuck
it's
is
from
I think
that?
he's
Step Brothers.
quoting.
From-
All right.
All right, we're done. We're done.
I don't know why everyone loves that movie so much. I think it's so overrated.
Really?
You're
Yeah.
overrated.
Yeah,
Probably.
you're the odd man
Burn.
out on this one.
Oh, but I think we've kind of flown off a little bit more.
We're just gonna continue to fall
Yeah,
off
it's-
cliffs. It's just
yeah,
cliff
we are.
after cliff
We are.
after
It's
I
cliff.
part of
We
our brand.
never find the bottom.
Part of
Oh,
our
this is
brand.
gonna take so much editing.
No,
Keep
no,
it-
no.
keep
Put
it
up,
all.
Keep it raw. Keep it raw.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you had your first release after a while, like 6 months ago. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. Who wants to take the lead?
Kian.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Oh, sorry there, King. Were you asleep there, mate?
Yeah, he had
I
a,
may
he
have
doses
been.
off once in a while.
Didn't realize
Man,
our
that
company
was-
was that boring, arsehole.
even though it was 6 months ago, it feels like an eternity ago because it's like on to the next thing. But I mean,
It also feels like
I-
it was just yesterday because we've been
I-
living in Groundhog's Day.
yeah, for real. I don't think that was even supposed to be the first single. I think we ran into some hiccups with some other things, and we had that one like the closest to being finalized, and we wanted to hit the specific date it came out because that was the 3-year anniversary of when we started like writing songs for this project. And we're like, if we're gonna like, we can't keep pushing shit back, like we got to put something out. And so we just kind of like ramped up like posting stuff in April and then released it in June. And then our whole goal all along was just do a single a month basically until we had like, you know, all the singles that we felt were singles out into the world. And then do the rest of the album. Supposed to be like, I think we're aiming for like March this year. Now we're probably going to be more into the summer. Because we have a couple more singles that we want to do this month and next month. But we've been writing songs for this album for ever, and it never really stops. Like, even though we have like the album, we're always like sending new stuff back and forth as like, all right, when we're done with this one, here's another one that we can do after it. And so we've written like almost 60 songs at this point. And we have, you know, for a debut album, we have 15, which is a huge fucking album for a debut. Especially when you're doing it yourself.
We're already ready for album 2. I mean, we already have a
Yeah.
song completed that would go on album 2 that's done. I mean, minus like the production side, but the lyrics, vocals, and basic structure is done. And then we have several others that are in their like medium phases. So it's like, we're just not going to stop writing because we have too many
It's just
ideas.
fun.
It's
And,
fun.
like, if
and
you-
we enjoy writing together. Like we
Yeah.
vibe extremely well and really efficient when we write. Like we pump out songs pretty quickly.
Pump out songs pretty quickly, just almost as quickly as you pump your missus.
I used the word pump strategically for you.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
I'm
it.
giving you ammo.
Giving. So with you're saying that you've already written like 60 odd bloody songs, which is a hell of a fucking lot, I've got to say. So what is the creative process that you guys go through when you're actually creating your music then? Because writing 60 songs is fucking mental.
Well,
I
it's
think
evolved
that-
a lot because like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it has.
initially when we started, I would just because Kian was going to be the drummer, I would just kind of riff with Kian because Kian was so interested in guitar and be like, "This sound cool. Like, what does this sound?" And like the main goal was to write like the heaviest like pop song, or
Mhm.
make like kind of metal riffs more major key sounding. And it was just so fun to do that we would do it like every weekend. And then eventually he kept buying guitars, and so then I'm like, "Yeah, you're the other guitarist now." And so then he started writing more riffs. And then I'd write like drum riffs, and Ant would write like a bunch of different riffs. And then Matt had, you know, previous projects he worked on. So there's like a million different lanes where these songs like kind of get crafted together.
Yeah. What's cool is that like everybody is open to having a song come from anywhere. We don't care about ego. And it's when I met the guys, the first conversation we had was no egos, coolest idea wins. And we just don't ruminate on songs for too long. Like once the idea is there, if we like it, don't think twice and move on, and just, you know, that's the mentality. And I think that helped us push through the writing process for getting this record done really quickly. Because when I met them, they plopped 60 instrumentals on my lap and said, "Hey, let's finish a record. Like, pick your favorite 15 and let's do this." And you know, it was only like 3 or 4 months, and we had the record almost done, minus the recording of it. But like, we had the songs written, And
Yeah.
for example, Never Gonna Leave You, the song that you like, what was really dope about that was I wrote the vocals to that several years ago with a friend of mine, and you know, he wrote the instrumental. I popped vocals on top with most of the lyrics done, and then we, as Protect Your Heart, took the vocals from that and then recreated the song, and it was, you know, it turned out to be one of our favorites on the record. So that's just a good, you know, good example of how like songs come from all different sorts of places.
Yeah, we do things in a way. It's like the exact opposite of how a traditional band would work. Like, you know, you're like, oh, okay, yo, do we all want to like play together? Yeah, I could play guitar, I could play bass, I could sing, I could play drums. And it's like you get in a room and you're all just kind of like playing together, you know, because we all come from more of like a dance music, having a lot of the dance music experience of like being a one-man band. We approach it in a totally different way, because it's like, okay, well, like, let's get these ideas in the computer and build out songs that way, and really try and make something that feels like somebody had gone through the whole process of like, well, let's figure out and write these parts together and work them in. It's like we literally can do it all just at a faster rate, because we're just doing it all on the computer.
So to answer your question, there is no process. It's just like who can get the idea into the computer and exported so that everyone else can hear it, so that everyone else can slap their ideas on top of that idea. And then at a certain point, we stop arguing about which riffs stay and which ones go, and we're like, this song's sick, let's be done with it.
But I think the important part is
again.
we make decisions quickly, and we don't really ruminate on decision making when it comes to songwriting. Like if it feels good, we just move on and don't think twice.
So
And
it's like a controlled anarchy in a way that your creative process is no process, which in itself is a process.
Yeah,
and that's 3 times I said fucking process.
So
we're
gonna take a drink for every point. Yeah,
no,
protect your process.
He gets a process counter.
Right, there's a counter there. Well, that was
but
actually
our communication is really good, which is I think one of our strongest points as a band, and I think that helps us stay productive.
your communication is really good, yet you were just interrupting me. It's just I was about to say something.
Yeah, more ammo, baby.
You absolute.
I'm just giving you layups.
You're an absolute fucking cockwomble.
Hell yeah.
You're so like English British.
I'm stealing
It's
all of
just
these.
like ruminates from you. Awesome.
Cockwomble. We have to steal that. That's got to be a thing.
That's you know, that's the opposite end of the spectrum of what one other podcast called him, which was uncomfortably handsome. So uncomfortably handsome on
Uncomfortably
one side.
handsome. See,
Yeah,
I'm not
and-
seeing it. The only good-looking guy I'm seeing in this whole thing at the moment is myself.
That's what I thought you were going
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am so incredibly
Something
good-looking.
a cockwomble would say.
Yeah.
or as my wife likes to call me sometimes, a cunt muffin.
Oh, I like that one.
That's
You
a
know
good
what?
one.
You can actually nick those 2 sayings, and I expect to hear those 2 sayings in a song very soon.
Ooh.
Song title, yeah.
Yeah, we'll throw that in.
Yeah.
That sounds like a Blink-182 type song title.
Fuck's sake, that's another fucking counter.
Oh,
Bing.
didn't know Jake was going to be leading the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The crusade of being a
Blink-182
pain in my
counter?
ass. The Blink
Keanu, you're referring
182.
to the Blink-182 counter?
I'm not saying it, dude. I already said it's not going to be me.
You still get your
He's
half a
abstaining.
point for Travis Barker references.
Yeah, you still get half a point now. Still half a
Fine,
point.
I'll allow it.
Oh.
Well,
Amazing.
You allow it or not allow it. The decision is really not up to you. So,
I'll have my people talk to your people.
you don't have people. Shut up.
You're right. I don't.
I don't have people either. Shut up. So, where can the people either watching this or listening to this randomly somewhere, where can they connect with you online if they just want to drop in and say hello?
Instagram for sure.
Probably Instagram's best, yeah.
I
We're on
we-
Facebook, Twitter too, but Instagram is probably what we're trying to build the most, I feel, just
Yeah.
because the aesthetic, we really take pride in like what we upload and the kind of
Oh, it's all
vibe
about
we're
the
creating.
aesthetic. Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what I like is we spend a lot of time like interacting with anybody who is part of our Instagram page. We really want to build that personal connection with anybody who's interested. So that's kind of where the community is kind of thriving the most, I would say.
And it's PYH_band. Just so if anybody wants to follow us.
And if you missed that, as you probably know from all of my previous episodes, I will have the tag right there on the screen. It's right there. See, so you
I don't know
can
what side I'm on.
you can so you can connect with them. You can send them a message and they say hello. I would suggest having a chat with them. They are actually brilliant guys to talk to, as you could probably tell from here, and they're more than willing to talk to cockwombles out there, such as yourself. So
Cockwombles and cunt muffins.
dude.
Yeah,
cockwombles and cunts.
all are welcome here.
So what about with your music then? Where can people take a listen to your stuff that's out there?
Literally everywhere that you can consume music, from Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, YouTube Music, Deezer. I mean, the list goes on. It's on.
Yeah, Deezer especially, the streaming platform that everybody really loves. Deezer.
Yeah.
I would say that to highlight YouTube would be a big one, because we spend a lot of effort on crafting our music videos, and it's all DIY minus the, if we bring on a director, like or a filmographer, we, like, for instance, the Never Gonna Leave You video, like Kian and Ant spearheaded that one and made it look so good, and they put more hours than I can count. I can count to at least 40, but they put more than that. And like, they made it look amazing. But I'm really proud of the way our music videos turned out for being a DIY, and we've got several on the way. I mean, we're gonna have like 8 or 9 by the time our record's out.
Well, I actually do have a tag for YouTube, so I'll have that tag right there on that side of the screen this time. I don't have a tag for Spotify and Instagram yet. So if you missed that, I will have some of those links down in the description so you can check out. I highly suggest that you do check out, because it is really good music. It made me go like, oh, hello, what the fuck is this? Oh, this is actually pretty good for a bunch of whiny little assholes. This is pretty good.
Hell yeah.
Right, guys, we are getting up to the halfway point of our interview. So I want to talk about your last song, the song that you sent me, Never Gonna Leave You. I've seen the music video to it. I've listened to the song several times. I've really fucking enjoyed it. Can you tell us more about that and for the message that's in that song to the people out there?
Like a couple of years ago, I started with an instrumental that a buddy of mine sent me, and I crafted I call them a wizard vocal, where I just kind of sing whatever's at the top of my mind, and most of the lyrics actually stayed. All of the melodies stayed, and I kind of sent that to him, and we just lost touch over the years and didn't finish it. And when I met these guys, I thought this is the perfect song to resurrect, and they heard it and they're like, let's do this. And Jake, took it home, stripped the vocal from it, redid the instrumental, and then we came back and touched it all up together, and it crafted really quickly, and it turned out like immediately to be one of my favorites. So like, Jake took it to a place that just, this whole song took on a new meaning for me. And I love when he throws we call it a Jake out, where he does his EDM breakdowns, which if you hear it in the end of the song, but I can't get enough of that song. Like, that's one of the ones I listen to first when I kind of jam out to our stuff.
Awesome. Now we are going to play a sample of that song. We are going to play a little sample of it, and depending on how many times Blink-182 was mentioned up to this point in the interview will depend on how many minutes.
Do you deduct for every point?
I will deduct 30 seconds for every point, because I think it was mentioned quite a lot, and at this rate I'll probably play the whole fucking song. So we're going to play a little sample, and if you like it, let us know down in the comments. I can let these guys know, or you can click the link to go to the actual music video, which I'll have down in the description, and you can leave your comments on there to let them know how much you enjoyed the song. If you enjoyed it, even if you didn't enjoy it, let them know. Even negativity is good to team building, good strong building, to get them up there. So that was Never Gonna Leave You. Now let us know what you think. If you enjoyed it, if you didn't, fuck off. But if you enjoyed it, leave a comment. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think. So guys, that was the halfway point. So now we are going to be getting down to the nitty-gritty part of the interview. Now, you have mentioned that you've already watched a couple of episodes of my show before, so you can kind of expect what's happening unless you didn't watch the whole episode. This is the part where, obviously, as I mentioned, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty. So I'm going to be asking you some tough questions, some questions that are probably going to make you feel uncomfortable, going to make your whole demeanor kind of tremble a little bit.
Do I gotta hit up my lawyer or?
So if at any point during these next lot of questions that you guys feel really uncomfortable and you wish for me to stop and we can go back to something funny, let me know and I will just flat out ignore you.
That's the spirit, baby.
Yeah, I feel some pressure. I'm feeling.
I like this.
This is fun. I like this.
Yeah. Interest.
Jake's so worried about getting canceled.
No, if I get canceled, it'll bring more eyes on the band than me. So, like, who's this guy? Who's this asshole?
Who's this guy? Who's this asshole? Right. So, first question: what is the most trouble that you've been in?
Ooh, I gotta think about that.
I would say I've been pretty tame, but this one time.
Oh bullshit! Fuck off, tame. Fucking right. This annoys me. Every single time I ask that fucking question, what's the most trouble you've been in? I always get the clean shaven one or the one that thinks he's good looking. Go, oh, I'm actually pretty nice. I'm pretty tame. I've done nothing wrong. And then 5 minutes later, they hit out with the most sick fucking story I've ever heard.
Well, the thing is I'm just good at not getting caught. So
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one that I did get caught for, but isn't that crazy of a story. My brother and I, when we were in late teenagers, we went to this store called Walgreens, and we went on the loud the intercom for the whole store, and we were doing stand-up comedy. And then the cops actually came and put my brother in a headlock and carried him out. It was great. And then we were banned from all the Walgreens from here till Bakersfield, which is like two and a half hours away.
How are you not going to tell the tooth story?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Forgot about that
story.
one. Okay,
story? Okay, I'm intrigued.
Well, I don't know where the photo is. It's you have to look up. Well, it's floating on the internet somewhere. But God. So I was playing a show with my old band Beta State, and at the end of our set, somebody who was kind of a friend of the band, and I didn't really know her too well. She and I kind of started to hang out. We had a few drinks. She came back to my place, and we had our fun. And in that moment, her and I were leaning in to kiss each other, being many, many drinks deep, and we hit each other's face, and she knocked my tooth out, and it was bloody everywhere, all over the bed, all over the sheets, and I was just like, screw it, I don't care, we'll deal with it tomorrow. And then I had for several weeks, I had half a tooth here, just like it was a beaut, as you would say.
Oh wow, that's incredible.
Tame, right?
Find the photo.
Yeah, very, very fucking tame.
Yeah, someone will probably find the photo and link it in the comments because it's floating out there somewhere. Right, I don't want to direct them to the right place though. If
someone out there does find that photo, please send it to me.
Okay. I embraced it actually it was shortly after that happened, I had to get surgery to have an implant done to fix the entire tooth, and my old band had gotten this opportunity to record a song with Linkin Park. So we co-wrote a song, recorded it in the same day, and I had a flipper. And so I told nobody about it. And then halfway through the recording session, we're all sitting there in front of the control panel, going through some of the vocal takes that I did. And I just pulled it out and pretended to hit my face on a bench. And everyone in the band was like, whoa, are you okay? Are you fine? They were just flipping out. It was the funniest thing. And I just made it so uncomfortable for everybody. And it was those awkward laughs, when they find out it was just a joke.
Oh, wait, you said a flipper?
I like that.
Yeah, I had a little tray that could, keep, it's like an Invisalign tray that holds the fake tooth in place.
Dude,
I never heard that term.
That reminds me of that scene in Parks and Rec where they're all in the conference room and Ron takes the pliers to his front tooth in the middle of a meeting and pulls out his front tooth. And Aziz Ansari's character like literally faints in the conference room. So good.
He had it pulled like the day before or whatever.
Yeah. He's like, the whole point is to show your coworkers that you feel no pain.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec. I've never seen it, so I don't get that.
Oh,
reference.
dude, you gotta watch
show.
it. It's great.
I've never seen it, so I don't get that reference.
American stuff.
I'm trying to think of like the most trouble I've been in. I
got one.
Bring it.
Yeah. I don't really
So
know.
I was going to college in Santa Cruz, and I was going to UC Santa Cruz, and we used to always have these like things that we called renegades. And I was a DJ at the time, and so we'd set up a bunch of like audio gear and DJ equipment in the forest because like Santa Cruz is like a forest kind of city/town. So we decided to do our own for one because we would just go to them, and they'd always be really fun and a blast. And so we tried to do our own. We found this spot. We set up. We spent like 3 hours setting everything up with like trucks and everything. And then as soon as we're about to start, the cops come. And so then we had to tear everything down. Everyone got like fined. Everyone got a bunch of tickets. The city was all mad at us and stuff. And I like went to court and got like, it wasn't as bad, but just the amount of time we dedicated to it just for it to immediately get shut down was a bummer.
Oh,
Fucking
damn.
hell.
Yeah.
Right. Any other tame stories?
I mean,
these are pretty
the only one I can think of is like not even that big of a deal, but I was I got a demerit, which is like a yellow card, if you will, in middle school. Our teacher left the classroom and we jammed one of our buddies into the closet, at like big, like giant, like book closet that was empty, and locked him in there. And he kicked it off the hinges and it crashed, like literally like fell in the middle of the classroom. And as that was going on, the teacher walked back into the room. So yeah, that was we all got sent to the principal's office and got a little slap on the wrist for that one. But that's the only one that like really comes to mind. I'm sure I got some worse ones, but
But you don't want
That's
to
only
say
trouble.
anything else unless you get yourself completely indicted and have the cops turn up at your door. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to have my lawyer talk first before we say some of these
for
stories.
sure.
What about you, Anthony?
I got kicked out of high school.
That just seems to be the common thing, not here.
Suspended or expelled?
At the end of my junior year, it was suggested that I do not return to my high school, to which I replied, well, so you're suggesting, you're recommending I don't return. That doesn't mean that I can't. And they said, well,
Yeah, what
so for my
happens if you do?
All right, well, what happened? So how
they're basically, I went to a lot of things over the years that just like didn't fly, just different little violation.
Yeah, we're very, very wholesome in this band.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Lawrence,
So
your
I
turn.
got the boot from high school my junior year, and then had to switch for my senior year.
Fuck's sake.
It's just fine. It's fine. Who cares at that point?
Oh well, yeah.
It's-
Okay, I could see that.
Time for us to hear yours, Lawrence.
My
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
My what?
Your
When did
story.
Story.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. We've ran out of time for the. What is the most trouble that I've been in? Jesus
See,
Christ.
it's hard when
Well,
you're
you were
on the
drinking.
spot.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be
it's
careful.
tough.
Your wife's in the other room.
Yeah.
She may hear.
But what
this.
about your Southern
Well, he
England
hasn't tied the
drinking
knot
days?
yet, so you don't know if this story might affect that.
Oh, see, I don't know. There's quite a lot that I've done whilst drunk.
A pub
That's the
fight.
beauty is you don't
got
have to remember.
a fight at the pub.
A fight at the pub. No, not quite like that. I don't think. See. I don't know. I'm a good boy.
Hey, same. Yeah.
Ah.
No, I actually I don't know, to be honest. What is the most trouble? I've never been arrested. Right, I haven't been in trouble, but I remember this one. Right, this one was like just after my 18th or 19th birthday. I was that drunk and that hungover that the next morning I went to walk into the town to meet a couple of friends to get breakfast, but I was still very, very drunk from the night before, and I sat down on this bench by this path. I was one of my friends came up to me, was talking to me, and said, "Oh, you don't look so good. Are you all right?" I was like, "I'm absolutely fucking wrecked. I can't walk. I can't see. I can't do anything." And then suddenly, my face went completely white, and I started throwing up everywhere, all across this nice, lovely path bit. And as I was doing that, this young family with their two very, very young children were walking by, and my friend turned around and says, "Lawrence, you can't do that. You can't do that. You need to sort yourself out." And I just went, "Fuck it. This is their kid's fucking future. Take a look."
You scarred those kids for life.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a bit of a dick.
That's good. You taught them a lesson. They got to learn sometime.
Yeah, don't drink, kids. It will ruin you. It
What
will give you
would be
plenty of funny
amazing-
stories.
What would be amazing if every time you did get drunk, you just wound up waking up all the time in graveyards.
Yeah,
Like that was your go-to. You're like, oh man, once you get to that point, you're just like autopilot, and you're like,
I mean, at a certain point, you got to think that your subconscious self is trying to tell you something, right? Keep waking up in graveyards.
putting me to an early grave. Yeah.
Yeah,
But funny enough, I actually don't drink anymore.
there you go.
same.
Haven't done for almost 2 years.
It's been almost 2
Nice.
days.
Yeah. For me last night.
It's been almost 24 hours.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I've been sober for a little over 4 years, 4.5 years.
Congratulate! I take my hat off to you.
Thank you, thank you.
I don't normally take my hat off because I don't like my hair's always a mess. So, but I'll take my hat off to you.
Cheers.
I can edit all that bit out though if you like.
No, it's fine.
No? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I just stopped drinking because of doing dumb shit and probably a million other reasons, and not wanting to. What is it? I felt like I wasted too much time.
I feel
I'd
like
get
your
drunk
energy,
and then-
your
Exactly.
energy.
It's the same reason why I stopped. As soon as my son was born,
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, I don't want to wake up hungover one morning when I've got to look after a baby. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds horrific.
I asked my
Yeah,
wife. She went for a staff night out with a hangover, and he woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and she was just like, ah.
Dude, no thank you. That might be the time that I quit too,
yeah.
because hungover, waking up at
Yeah.
6 in the morning, cleaning a shitty diaper and hearing crying sounds like I'd rather be dead.
But your wife already does that when you come home drunk anyway.
He's like, I know it's so true.
Yeah.
Is this interview over yet? Are we done?
No, not yet. Oh, I think I touched a nerve there. Oh, I like it spicy.
Spicy.
Give me more. Although I've got to say, Keane, you look like the type of white guy that would think mayonnaise is spicy.
Damn, that's a
Roasted.
line.
Quite the opposite, my friend.
Throw
I'm
one
probably
back.
the
Throw one
one-
back in.
I'm probably the one that eats the hottest shit around here, if I had to guess.
Not true.
Bro, I will go toe to toe with you any day.
Sure.
Sounds like we've got a challenge brewing up
Yep.
here.
We actually had an initiation ritual at Anthony's house back in the day, because Jake actually used to live there, and Jake bought Da Bomb from Hot Ones.
Yeah.
And so anytime a new person came over, they had to rip some of that. I've seen some tough guys
What, take a shot of it or sniff
fall
Just a
apart.
little like chip.
little-
Yeah, you don't
with a
need
little.
much.
You don't need much. Yeah,
it? I would have got him.
it lights you up.
I would have got him to sniff it.
Sniff.
Yeah.
No.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Oh my
get
god,
dab
that
of
would
it
be
and-
so uncomfortable.
No,
Dude,
like
it tastes like
yeah.
metallic. It tastes like eating like an aluminum can.
my
but
friend
then,
threw up
like,
after eating it.
It's
it
made of
sits in your
fire.
chest. Yeah, it sits in your chest for like an hour.
It's a
after you've
deep,
had
deep
even-
burn.
Yeah, it sucks. It's
I like
deep.
it.
There's
I enjoy it every
nothing-
once in a while.
There is
Look-
nothing redeeming about it. It is
Nope.
all bad, 100%. Like I've had stuff that is hotter and that tastes really good, but this is just bad.
Yeah, it's not tasty at all. But it clears you out if you have like a cold or you're stuffed up.
Clears you out.
You're just like,
Oh, it clears you out. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Oh my god.
Yeah, order
So-
order you a bottle someday and give it a shot.
Yep.
Okay, but I want to see this challenge between you two though. So
I have an idea.
We can do
Let's all have a bottle and we'll all taste it on the next podcast together, and we'll see who lasts the longest without breaking.
Ooh.
Sure.
I will
know-
do it. Yeah, I would love that.
you know what? I'm down for that.
That's a great idea.
I will. I'll
So we've
do
just
that.
scheduled a part 2.
We've just scheduled a part 2, so I don't need to ask my very last question now. So that saves me some time. We'll do a part 2, and we will do that. In fact, everybody at home, some of my challenges that I have been given, they are coming, and a lot of them are being saved for part 2s instead of getting pre-recorded. So make sure you stay tuned for some of those. You're not going to want to miss the one I'm doing with Natty Snaps, that rap battle. It's coming.
You're
Yes,
gonna do a rap battle? Are you rapping?
right.
You got bars? Go Hot 16 right now.
Right. No.
Oh, he's saving it. He's saving it for the battle.
Saving it for the
Okay,
battle.
I get it.
A few weeks ago, I was interviewing a guy called Scott who runs an independent label over in the UK, and I was chatting away to him, and I was just saying, oh yeah, but I can sing. You know, I've got an amazing singing voice, but I don't like to sing because I want to make normal people feel like okay with themselves, because if I start singing, then they'll just quit music altogether. And then he was just like, right, okay, in your next podcast episode that you do with a rapper, I want you to either sing or lay down a verse. I was like, okay. And 2 weeks later, I had Natty Snaps on from Canada, a rapper, and he started doing a little bit of free. Getting Natty Snaps back on soon, and we're going to be doing a rap battle.
Nice. I got to watch
Sick.
this.
And my other challenge I got from Rob from Storm the Empire, where I have to take a California Ghost chili pepper and I have to sing Aqua Barbie Girl after I've done it. But
Dude,
the,
that's way more fun.
I like that.
Than
but
eating
I
some
have
hot
to do
sauce.
that with the band member that didn't turn up to the podcast.
Mm.
So they're getting
Ooh.
punished as
Yeah.
well as me. So a lot of my
Glad-
Aren't you glad you
challenges.
showed up today?
Yep.
Yeah, because if you didn't, then we'd have to come up with a horrible musical torture challenge that we'd have to do for part 2 for us to do together.
I think it would be a similar challenge, but it'd have to be some country song. I think that
Blues
would
Traveler,
make Jake.
The Hook.
Blues Traveler is dope. I like Blues
That-
Traveler.
but imagine how hard it is to do that verse,
Yeah.
like while you're suffering.
I
Okay,
don't
wait,
think I've heard it, so I
we're
don't think
gonna
I've
have
heard
to
that
do
song.
this. We're gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to get the bomb and do the hook, at least the one verse from Blues Traveler.
You know, what would be really funny is Jake doing Hootie and the Blowfish like he did at
Oh,
my
no.
wedding.
All spiced out.
Yeah. you gotta play too. You gotta play the song and you gotta sing it while you're like, yeah.
Right, so we're definitely going to be doing this then, getting some fucking hot ass shit, and we're going to sing a song as well, are we?
Yep.
What song are we doing?
We'll work on a few. We'll try and figure out what'll be a lot of fun. Something that'll be pretty brutal and difficult.
As long as it's not Aqua Barbie Girl, because that song's been taken.
Not an easy song to sing either. That's like
Yeah.
a high register.
Oh, I'll be burning that much. I'll be able to go high.
Lawrence
Let's
is
go.
the songbird of our generation, so
Fuck yes.
self-proclaimed.
And everybody will soon find out how true that is.
We can't wait, man.
Damn fucking right. I know you can't. I know you're already quivering with excitement. I can tell.
Mhm. Yeah. I hope you're recording it directly after
I'm
we get off.
fucking pumped.
Yes.
It's
Yes,
pumped.
that's the fucking energy I wanted. Thank you, Anthony.
Hell yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on the music industry as it stands today?
I think
Yeah,
it's been
it's-
trying to
How much time-
recover for 20 some odd years. It's been trying to reinvent itself. It's a challenge. Like a lot really threw it on its head. And some people have figured it out and figured out how to make the best of the shit sandwich, as Kean likes to say, that we have. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, like the it's tough for new people. It's tough for even people that have been successful, and which is crazy because it was, looking back in the 90s, especially the amount of money that was made, thrown around, spent, and allowed for people to do really cool stuff just like literally doesn't
It's
exist
literally
anymore.
we're literally playing a different game these days, and for a variety of reasons. One of them being like the barrier to entry is so low. It used to cost so much money to record just one song, and now you can make as many songs as you want pretty much for free. If you download whatever GarageBand and some samples and have a microphone, like you can. And so there's so much content being made and being consumed that I think that you're instead of appealing to everyone, you just have to find the people that are into whatever you're doing and appeal to them, because it's overwhelming. Like 60,000 songs a day are uploaded to Spotify, which is impossible to compete with, even with a major budget. That's the reason like you hear the same 3 artist names every year, and then the next year it's a new 3 artists, and they're the ones that the labels decided like this is who we're spending money on this year. And if you're anyone else, you got to be smart and creative and hope that people give a shit about what you're doing.
I feel like there needs to be some reform in things like the Grammys and stuff like that, where, like he said, you hear the same couple names, and there's so many new people out there, and nobody's kind of looking. And because of the way the system is, it's pretty broken. Although, with all that said, I think that I know that I have 10x or more the amount of fun today making music than I did when I was 15 years old or 12 years old or 17 years old or 18 years old or whatever.
Or 19 or 20 or 21, maybe 21 and a
22,
half.
23,
All the-
24.
23.
21 and a
182.
half. Wait, 21 and a half.
That was a golden era.
It was a good 6 months. But it actually was. But no, in all actuality, I mean, like, yeah, like, I have just as much, if not, and more fun doing it now with all that stuff. There's new challenges. There's, it's just a different adventure. It's a different experience, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe
I think
like
what it is like back in the day, like when we were growing up, right? And you would see like these artists get really huge overnight. It was harder to make music, but it was easier to be kind of found and promoted by the label or given a shot by these major labels, because there was money to be spent because they're selling physical media. Now it's easier to make music, and because of that, it's harder to make money at it or get proper promotion and anything on that side, get discovered, whatever you want to call it. So it's just kind of like flip-flopped, and it's kind of a sad state of affairs when there are literal entire podcasts dedicated to TikTok bans. Like that's to me, it's kind of like removing.
What the fuck is a TikTok band?
Go on TikTok and search pop punk, and they'll all come up for you. I promise.
That's kind of what I was saying. Like, there's new ways, there's new things. Like the way of doing it all shifts all the time. It's not that it's just shifted. It's just that it's always evolving. It's always changing, and you kind of have to get with the times if you want to be successful. Like we could go the 1998 route and make records and press CDs and go sell them out of our trunk, or we could do everything we're doing now plus all the stuff that is available. Because you really got to look at it like there's these tools now that are available. Do you want to use them or not?
Yeah, it's the old DJ argument of, are you only a DJ if you use vinyl, or if you use a controller, are you still technically a DJ? Well, yeah, you're still.
I'm actually still confused about the TikTok ban thing that you mentioned. So when you say TikTok ban, do you mean like people who only have music on TikTok?
That's their like number
Like
one
no
audience.
other services.
I think you mean mostly that's how they market themselves primarily is short
Correct,
TikTok
yeah.
videos. Okay,
Like
that's
they
what I got
like
to.
their whole marketing plan is just trying to tap into the TikTok algorithm, and everything else doesn't really matter for whatever reason.
Right. Okay. Because I've never heard that term before, and I was a little bit confused. I was like, "What the fuck is this guy on about?"
I mean, it's also like, you know, a lot of artists or a lot of musicians, I guess, are writing their music to cater to that particular audience and platform, which is why songs are getting shorter. Videos all look the same. Like they're trying to use that as a means of making a career. And it's interesting, and it is something that you have to like compete with, and you have to be there. Like, it's not going to go away, but that is a full 180-degree turn from what it was 10 years ago, even. Like,
Right,
that
okay,
shit didn't exist.
I'll do a little deal right now, okay? For when I put out another advert, say later on down the line, looking for more people to come onto the show, if you're one of those TikTok bands who only use TikTok and you don't have a full song up to 4 minutes, you don't have a full music video, don't bother contacting me because you won't go on the show. When I listen to music, I want to listen to the whole song. When I watch a music video, I want to watch the whole video. I want to see the whole story unravel in front of me, not a quick little 30-second, like or a minute snippet. You know, which I kind of ironic because that's the kind of snippets that I put at the halfway point. Ironic, I know, but that's to try and encourage people to actually go watch the full video from the actual artist that made the video.
Yeah, it's
Well, I
just
think the
it's
important-
such a different thing, and like, I don't think any of us want to sound like, you know,
Like we're old.
No one wants
Boomers.
to be
You guys are
no one
kind of
wants to-
sounding like
yeah.
boomers. No offense.
no one wants to be a boomer, but it's a different thing, and like, you have to
I don't mind being a boomer. I'll be a Karen. I don't give a fuck.
Let's go.
What's the male version of a Karen? Is it a Ken?
It's a Chad.
It's a
No,
Chad.
because that Chad is like seen as like good because you're like
Yeah, it used to
alpha
be,
male.
Yeah.
A Cody.
We'll
no.
call it.
It's a
I'll call it.
Jake.
A
No,
Ken.
Cody's like a no. What's like an old Bob or Robert? I don't know.
Dick?
Robert. Dick.
Dick. Yeah.
Richard.
Richard's a good one.
Stands the test of time.
Something such a Richard.
Everybody likes a good dick.
Amen.
Was that a pun, Jake? I'm in.
Oh my fuck. So if there was anything about the industry that you could change and you had the power to do it, what would you change? Would it be getting rid of TikTok bans?
Add Web3 to it in crypto.
Killing Island Boys. Completely taking them off the
I honestly
hashtag fuck
couldn't
mumble
be,
rap.
I couldn't be like any less bothered by the TikTok thing. I just think it's like, it's
Really, you seem to be getting a little bit irate by it.
No, it's just different. And we're fucking old, so you know, we like we're making music for young people, or youngsters in ourselves still, I guess. But it's this whole different kind of paradigm shift that we're, you know, not used to. So we have to get used to it. And you know, we're looking at doing stuff in the near future that's going to be, I don't know, I think pretty progressive, forward-thinking stuff. It's not going to be good on TikTok, but you know, if you want like a full story, there's going to be a full story there. And kind of like you, like I am the same way. Like when I sit down to listen to music, like if a new album comes out, I want to hear the whole thing. I don't want to hear 10 seconds of
Anthony's just raised his hand. Why have you raised your hand? Are you just being a dick?
No. I had something to say.
Okay. Oh well,
'Cause
that's
I
actually the
thought you asked-
first time someone's actually used that to go.
Yeah, I've never seen
Can I
that.
say something? Can I say something, please?
Well, Jake pointed it out at the beginning. I thought it was a good question, and I think I thought of a good answer. I would like if I.
All right, now everybody's.
if I had to change one thing about the music industry right now, I would have Apple Music, Spotify, all the digital retailers offer at the bottom, like say it was the last thing listed under an album, under a track, if you could upload digital album books, like so on the phone, on the app, you could click it and skim through lyrics, literally anything. Nobody has to make it, but there are bands that really did enjoy putting that stuff together. And I know as somebody who consumed a lot of records and a lot of CDs, a lot of cassettes as a kid and throughout my entire life, that stuff was super, super meaningful to me.
Dude, that's a sick idea. We should just make one.
Yeah, we should do it. Like, yeah,
just do it.
Just to do it.
Although I would have changed how much the streaming services pay out. I would have changed that to actually do like a fairer, amount.
We're used to getting
That's a great
we're used to getting raked over the coals. So
It's our get rich slow scheme.
It's slow scene.
My one thing that I would change is I know that this day and age, the way people typically consume music is in short bursts, shorter attention spans. And so that kind of gave birth or chicken and egg with TikTok. And so as a band, we have to, acknowledge that exists and we have to make it work for our advantage. But for us, we still love the storytelling and we still love the whole package. And that comes first for us as in the way that create music. But for me, I would change the way that people attend shows of bands that they don't know yet. Throughout my life, I would go to every show possible. I don't care who's playing. If there's like 5 people there, I still want to be front row and watch the bands play and support them because you discover a lot of cool things and just the vibe is like nothing else. You can't get that anywhere else. And so I think being a concert junkie myself, I would love to see a lot more support for all the bands in the smaller sub scenes that they get the support in their area too. Because it's such a big boost to, you continuing to make music. If you have 40, 50 people at your show, you feel accomplished. And I think that everybody who's gone through the trouble of creating music and then getting the balls to go on stage and put themselves out there for, most people in the crowd typically listen is with a critical mindset of, well, I want to listen to it of what I don't like first instead of what I like first. I'm the complete opposite. And I want those bands to get some reward for all the hard work that they've done. Because I know what it's like to play in front of nobody. And I know what it's like to feel uncomfortable on stage when there's nobody in the crowd. And I'm like, no one cares, it's like such a bummer, but I want people to be able to consume music in a live setting a little bit more openly than to say, oh, well, I'll wait till I am a huge fan. Then I'll buy a $7 ticket to see you,
See, there's a lot of stuff that you said there that I actually completely agree with. Like, it doesn't matter who's playing. If you've got a chance to go out and see a live show, go to a concert, go to it, because you'll never know what music. Well, you don't know what music you're gonna hear because you've never heard the band, but you'll never know if you're actually going to enjoy it or not.
Mhm.
And 9 times out of 10, you are going to have a really good time when you go, and you might become a fan, you might not. You might hear their music and go, no, it's not for me, but I had a good night. Still, it's still worth a shot. And I like the term that you use, concert junkie, because as soon as you said that, all I had go through my head then was, give me live shows, put it in my veins.
Right.
Like a smackhead trying to get a needle.
If I had $20 to my name, I'd probably spend it on going to a show and have enough left over for a beer.
Well, you got to have a beer when you're at a show.
Gotta have one.
You got to have one.
But that's just that's my favorite thing to do. I don't care who's playing. I just want to go because you don't know the difference it makes to that band. You don't know what they've been through and how hard it was for them to put together their set. That's a big lot. That's years of work for one event for many people, and they may not get very many in their career, so they should be celebrated.
I mean, that's kind of a thing to like change about the music industry, right? It's just like how disposable people, like the general consumer, views art of any kind, because the internet makes everything so widely available that it's like, okay, it's not worth anything. No one worked hard on this, blah, blah, like just dismissive of things. That if people gave a shit half as much as Matt just kind of explained about anything in the arts, I think everyone would be happy.
Well, even like the art that we perceive as shitty, that took hours and years and months, like just sacrifice that we have no idea what they've given up, like relationships, money, time, careers. Like they've poured their hearts into these things. Like that deserves to be celebrated, even if you think it sucks. I mean, because That's a lot of effort. People don't realize how much goes into creating music.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. I mean, obviously, I work with and I know a lot of artists and musicians, so I kind of know what they go through every day when they're trying to create and perfect their music to put it out there to the general public. And for myself, for instance, I do this podcast every week. That's a lot of time of effort I put in every single week to bring out a show for everybody to watch. Sometimes the views are great, sometimes they're not. Doesn't matter. I have fun doing it. I enjoy doing it. But it is all that hard work. Like if you're creating, no matter what you're creating, you've always got to put a lot of work into it if you want to make something out of it. And yeah,
it's tough. I mean, you do. It's a commitment. I mean, making music, doing art of any kind, you have to throw yourself like wholly into it.
I never want to go half-ass. I always want to go full ass.
Always full ass.
Never say that at a gay bar.
Or do.
Yeah.
or do.
Amen.
Just whatever just whatever you do out there, people, support your local anything.
Yep.
Support your local anything. Support your local business. Support your local musician, because they put a lot of hard work into doing what they do. And if you don't support them, they will just disappear.
Yep.
And you will lose a valuable resource for your local community. You're like, if from a small village to a small town to a city, doesn't matter. Support your local anything, because when you support them, it really helps. It really goes a long way, and you actually help guys like this actually try and do something with their lives that they want to do, to actually follow their dream. Don't be a bitter arsehole because you gave up on your dream.
Amen.
Yes.
Support your local punk rock.
Blink 182.
Support your local Blink 182.
For
Jake, that was
fuck's sake.
that was expert timing. Well done.
Right, there we go. Jake's been muted. Cool, I can mute him now.
Here comes the hand raise. Yeah.
I don't know how to unblock you.
Oh, he has to do it.
You're stuck in purgatory. There you are.
Am I back?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
back.
Tom DeLonge?
I didn't
Wait,
know
does
I
that
could do
count? Does Tom DeLonge count?
That's in the Travis Barker half a point.
That's another
Here's
half
that.
a point. So how do you feel that the internet has impacted the music industry then, as it stands?
A lot. Can I take this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By the time you
um,
said something, Jesus fuck.
I have so much to say about the music industry.
I mean, he just said Blink 182.
Yeah. Oh no.
Ian,
That
you
doesn't-
finally contributed.
Mute.
You finally added
Yeah.
a point. I'm so proud of you, you utter moron.
Thank you.
Jeez.
I try.
But I think it's incredible. It's both incredible and like overwhelming. I think it's really cool how like the gatekeepers of music, like record labels and distribution and like manufacturing of CDs, like none of that really matters. It's like you had to have a huge cosign back in the day to get your music out there. But the downside for everyone releasing music is it's so oversaturated. You know, like certain genres, it's just like the same song. Like you'll hear 5 different artists in one genre and they all sound exactly the same. So it's cool for both, you know, but if you're passionate about music, you work hard enough, you could like start a Patreon, or if you get enough streams, you're independent, you'll get enough money for that. So it's like the easier time than ever to be like self-sustained off music. But if you're bad and no one wants to stream you, then it's going to be kind of tough, you know?
I'm
Dude,
interested
you just
to know.
reminded me of that T-Pain rant.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested to know what genre of music you're on about, where it's like 5 people basically sounds like they're singing the same song. What genre of music are you on about there? Kind of caught you there, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'll answer that. I think that it happens. I actually think
I think it happens.
a lot
Yeah. I
in
think
most
it's
of them.
most genres, but I think, I guess I would say like rap. There's so much rap, and it's every year there's a new style that comes out. Like everyone's doing drill right now, and all the drill rappers, I can't really tell the difference between any of them. It's great, and it's like I like turning up to it. Prior to that, it was like mumble rap. Right now, everyone's doing like the Blink 182 mixed with hip hop, which is cool. that was unintentional, but it's true. You know, it's like pop punk mixed with like hip hop. Like a lot of people are trying to do that right now. Every year there's like a new thing and everyone hops on it because it's like trendy. You know.
I mean, dude, we can't also shit on stuff that we're not involved in. Like, we all stopped making dubstep because every goddamn dubstep song for the last 10 years is the same song. So it's like, and it hasn't evolved.
And I think one of the main reasons why a lot of people have stopped doing dubstep now is since Saints Row 4, where you had the dubstep gun.
Yeah, was that it?
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
After playing that, went, I don't want to make dubstep no more.
See, I thought you're going somewhere else with that. I thought you were going to say the reason no one's doing it anymore is because they never should have done it in the first place. But
yeah, plus like we're Americans made like bro step and stuff, and you're from UK, so it's like dubstep there is different from what it became over here. We kind of ruined it in America.
And just like everything else, America ruins it.
I was gonna say, as we are ones to do.
We just take our capitalism and tightly.
This country wants their freedom. Why? Because freedom.
Yeah. Braveheart.
Yep.
But it's cool though, yeah, because people can. If you're a great musician though, and you're dedicated, I think you'll make it, and it's the best time, better time than ever. Like if you have a song, it goes viral. Even on TikTok, people do actually, like they stay on TikTok, but a lot of people will actually go to Spotify to listen to it. And if you get like a couple million plays, it's like you get to make a decision. Like that's like a month or two of rent. And you could be like, hey, maybe I pursue this more. So that's cool.
And I mean, yeah, like think about it. If you asked your 20 year ago, or if you asked somebody in I'm going to use the 90s because it was just so heavy. It was like 9/11 and is kind of where it started going downhill for a lot of different things, like in the music industry around that time of 2001. But like say late 90s, if you were to tell them, hey, imagine in 20 years, 30 years, you can make all of your own music yourself. You don't need somebody else to pay for it. You can market it yourself. You don't need somebody else to pay for it. And you can release it all like in every way and collect 100% of the royalties versus taking essentially a really high interest loan from a label and then having to hopefully pay that back or be in debt to them forever. Like I'm sure most people will be like, you're insane. There's no way you could do that. So, to look at it from both sides, like it's insane that like all the stuff that you pointed out, Jake, like everything that's available to be able to do it all yourself.
Dude, I was thinking about this.
It's super cool to give those tools to so many people. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Yeah, I was thinking about like EDM now. It's so easy to make. Like, it probably costs like $50 to $70 a month just because everything's subscription based. Like, you get Splice, you have access to the best samples in the world. 10 years ago, you had to like be in like the trenches of like Dubstep Forum and like Dogs on Acid, and like you had to torrent a bunch of stuff and get a bunch of viruses on your computer. Like, it's way different now. Like making music as well.
Even before that, yeah, you were like, you mentioned Dogs on Acid, but like you had to be on AIM. Like AIM was the way that you shared like any of like the tunes that you were working on, or people sending samples, or like just chatting on like how to do different like synthesis techniques, like to make a Reese, like, oh, like chatting, like working with people on there. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah. I mean, just with YouTube as well, like, and the ability to just learn and see what people are doing and actually have like a good starting point without knowing anything. It's like, it's crazy. It's so sick.
It's such a weird like catch-22 sort of situation, because it makes it easily available for anyone who wants to try and be creative to create, and makes it affordable, which, in theory generates some shit that wouldn't otherwise exist. That's really cool. On the other side, it also creates a lot of noise, because anyone can do it and not everyone can do it. So it's like, it's a kind of a double-edged sword, but at least people have the tools and the opportunity to do what they want to do.
You got to just take
let
that.
Let the listeners decide if it's good or not.
You got to just take that though and use it as kind of fuel. Be like, okay, well, if everybody has the ability to do this, what's going to set me apart? What's going to make me stand out?
Hard work.
And like, to reference like a lot of the dance music stuff, that kind of hit a point where everybody had really figured out how to do what was really that top tier level of sound design and production and everything, and then everybody's stuff sounded the same. It's like, so then what is the next thing that somebody's going to do that really sets it apart, that all of a sudden now, instead of like going this way, they're going this way and then this way.
I should have actually ended the show about 20 minutes ago, but I've been enjoying this conversation that much. I'm just letting it run now. So
It was a great
I-
question, man.
Yeah,
good
it was
question.
a, it was a good, and
question.
that is probably the most kind of like in-depth kind of answer that I've actually gotten from that question, and I've been enjoying the answers that I've been getting from it that much that I should have actually finished 20 minutes ago. We've gone way over the hour slot. I don't care. I'll let this run for an hour and a half. I don't care no more.
Well, I mean, like we said, we've been doing this for a long time and across many genres. Like I think all of us have worked in obviously what we're doing now, but dance music, hip hop, all that kind of, like, we've done it all. So we've seen from a variety of angles of like the way shit is happening and moving and changing and what's coming out of all this stuff. And I think it's super helpful to have those perspectives in those different areas. But man, it's also like, it can be frustrating to, to see some of the things that happen, because it's like, okay, great. Now everyone can do whatever they want to do, but now every single song sounds the same. And it's not even just one genre. Like, it's
I
every
kind of know
single
what you mean
genre.
with that as well, because what hasn't helped with what you were saying earlier, was like everybody can just put their music out there, and it doesn't matter if they're good or bad. One of the main things that I found is that because of the recent lockdown that everyone's had, the 2 years, the 2 years that everybody's had stuck in their homes, locked in their homes, you're now seeing a massive rise in bedroom artists, bedroom musicians who have only practiced to themselves in front of a mirror, but now have recorded it from their laptop and now think that it should go out there to the world. And now you're getting saturated by, not all these bedroom artists are bad. Some of them are actually really good, but you get a lot of them that are just god awful terrible. And you're just like, why were you just doing this as a joke or as a dare, or do you actually honestly think that you're good when you clearly
dude,
haven't practiced?
We're all bedroom artists. Every single one of us on this like, we all started in our bedrooms making the shit, but we've done it for 10 years now, or 12 years or 15 years now. So it's like, we didn't just start last year, but we can't, like, I'm not going to hate on bedroom artists. Like, you have to start somewhere.
I wasn't hating. I want to make that clear.
I am. They suck.
No. No, I'm saying, like,
Fuck
from our
'em.
perspective, like,
just fuck mumble rap.
Okay.
Fuck the
From
Idol
my,
Boys.
from
I like
my
mumble rap.
perspective,
Right, well, I've only got about 2 more questions, guys. So my next question is kind of be following on to what we were just talking about, but also kind of not, which is, if there was something that you could tell your younger selves at the start of your music career, what would it be? Another head scratcher.
I think I'd tell myself to get involved into music production and like the technology side of music earlier, just because I was so guitar obsessed for years. Like, I started when I was like 11 or 12, and that's all I cared about till I was like 18, 19. I wish I started making more beats and like production stuff in my teenage years, I think. So.
Yeah, I kind of lean into what Jake's saying a little bit, and also exploring outside of just music. Like, I wish that I got into doing like kind of a multimedia thing, like how Kian does a lot of design work. Like, I wish I got deeper in there, just because now it's so important to have kind of like all of it. But if it was just music related, then yeah, like continuing to, rather than like moving so much into engineering and playing less, like build up producer and production chops earlier. Because it wasn't until I was working in studios that I like got into like drum machines and things like that and synths, and like really like understanding that.
I definitely agree with what the guy said. Getting faster on the ball when we had these tools to learn them quicker, and I could write my own songs and not have to, as a singer, wait for other people to provide me
Work with
instrumentals to
us.
work on. Yeah. But
not to put it in so many words, but you guys suck.
No.
I want to go solo.
Definitely, I wouldn't want that over these guys. Working with these guys is probably the most enjoyable experience I've had in music ever. But I think that as a singer, starting out so late in the game compared to other people who had been singing or playing music throughout their childhoods, I didn't start until I was 18 or 19, where I attempted to write my first song and jam in my first band. And it was really easy to get insecure in my head really easily because I didn't have my technique in a good place. I didn't really know what I was doing and never jammed before. I didn't know how to write a song. So I kind of had a lot to figure out, but I worked hard at it. But it took me a long time to be comfortable with who I am as an artist. I think that once I reached that point, I was able to stand stronger on the ideas that I had, that I felt that they actually had value, instead of feeling insecure about the ideas that I would present and say, I need someone's endorsement to tell me that it's good, because I was so used to being critiqued, especially being younger in the scene, trying to sing for the first time. So I think really focusing on the spiritual and the emotional journey of being a singer, because I think the moment I reached that, the content that I created and my presence in creating that, and like actually being, a performer and recording, just exponentially got better once I hit that kind of emotional piece in being an artist. So I'm comfortable now to get all the critique and all the people who say they don't like what I create, and I feel it doesn't affect how I create, but back in the day it would. And so as people typically listen to music in a critical way, I would take that very personally when I first started, and now I don't. And it actually just opened me up to be more productive.
Did anyone else notice that Matt's internet connection dropped out at the start of his answer, or was it just me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It'll like slow and then it'll speed up.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if the recording got the whole part of that conversation.
What part did I get in on?
I don't know. I have to find out in post-production which bit didn't get like the full bit. Sometimes it will pick up the whole thing and not the picture, and sometimes it won't pick up the audio but the picture, and sometimes it won't do either when it cuts out like that. So I'm not sure, but I'll edit and make it work. Don't worry, I've got magic fingers on the keyboard. I'm fine.
Okay, I can always repeat something if you want, but that's definitely
good God, no.
God damn, savage.
Yeah. Burn.
Hey, I promised you a good time, so
yeah, you have delivered.
Thanks.
We still got Kian's. Kian, what's yours?
I think probably being less like obsessed about playing drums and being more like, I turned down piano lessons. I wish I was as interested in guitar and bass as I am now, when I was, younger, and your brain can absorb more information more quickly and like latch onto things. Because I really enjoy playing everything, and I wish I had the like competency to like really play the keys and really play, like to be able to just walk into any studio or any room and sit down behind any instrument and be like, okay, got it. Versus like, I could play drums with my eyes closed and I still suck at guitar, and I can barely draw in on a MIDI keyboard. But, to have that skill set, which I turned down, would have been, hindsight being 2020, would have been really valuable to have now, especially, doing the production stuff and being a one-man band, like being able to play keys and record guitar and whatever, like it would have been really useful over the last, 10, 12 years. But yeah.
Well, there was some very, very deep answers there. I wasn't actually kind of expecting that many deep answers from that. Most of the answers I get is like, oh, I kind of wish I focused more on marketing. Or I wish I knew how important it was to post content to keep myself relevant. Those are the sort of answers that I get.
Those are all very true as well, though.
But yeah, very much boiled down. But those answers were like, they were really good. They were logical. They were clear cut. You knew exactly what you were getting at. And as I say, every time I ask that question, unlike those phony, scammy music academies that you see online that promises you wealth and fortune if you just sign up to their courses, and they'll teach you how to be a massive mega music star. Unlike them, I won't charge you a penny for listening to the advice that my guests give you every single week from that question. If you are a young artist, if you are a young musician, aspiring band, someone in music aspiring to get somewhere, listen to the advice, listen to what these guys say every single week. They've gone through it. They've gone through what you're going through right now. Take on board what they're saying. And unlike those music academies, like I said, I won't charge you a penny. All I ask is that you watch my show. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I'll add to that bit of advice. I got two things that I think are really good that I wish I learned a long time ago when I first started, which was there's no right or wrong way to do anything as long as it sounds good.
Agree.
And you
Completely
will
agree.
continue to learn new stuff every single time you work on or play music.
Mhm.
There's no ceiling, I think, at all with like making, writing, creating, mixing, mastering, anything. You can always improve, which is really cool.
I mean, it's that old kind of philosophy, right? Like the more you know, the more experience you have, the more you realize what you don't know and what experience you don't have. And then like the more proficient you get at something, the more you feel like you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
I feel like that's where we all are right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel sometimes.
Ignorance
Yeah.
can be bliss.
But that's the thing in music.
Yeah.
Like the moment you get that ego that you think you've got it figured out is the moment that everyone else passes you up. And we never want that to ever be a reality.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's getting
guys.
too wholesome, you
It's-
cunt muffins.
Fucking Blink-182 lovers.
Right, guys. Well, I've only got one more question for you. Now, if you, for everybody at home, if you've seen my show, you know what question I'm going to ask, because you
Uh-oh.
know that this is an incredibly important question that everybody has to know. Now, if you do any other podcast shows after this, if you do any other interviews after this, or even interviews that you've done in the past, I know for a fact they have either never or never will ask this question because they're scared. Okay? This
Okay.
question will be single-handedly the most important question that you ever hear. And as soon as you've heard the question, any other interview you do after this, you'll be like, why don't they ask me that question? That was so thought-provoking there.
We're just
Why
going to
don't they
start
ask me that?
answering that when they don't ask. And they're going to be like, where did that come from? Why are you, what is this about? And
Yeah,
we're gonna say,
exactly.
you don't know Lawrence.
Yeah, you don't know We Touch of Madness? That's why it's a little touch of madness, because it's quite nuts on that show. So my question is, are you ready?
Yep.
Are you sure? You don't look too ready.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
Right.
I have my cursor on the exit call button.
I have mine on the raise hand.
Oh,
Wait,
fuck off.
Is there a Blink-182 button?
Oh my
fuck
god.
off. Right. Okay, my question is, do you sing in the shower? And if you do, what do you sing?
Yes. I actually do. I practice growls in the shower. I just want to see how, like, because I love the reverb in the shower and it's kind of fun.
Okay.
Only if I've got music on. I'll sing along.
You don't do a cappella?
No, I can't sing at all. And it's funny, I actually asked Matt the other day, I was like, what's it like to actually be able to sing? Because, you know, for me, like I could literally be walking down the street and like if I started singing and was just, you know, having a grand old time, people would think that I'm crazy or like, oh, they, you know, let the people out of the asylums.
So you have to, you're practicing your singing for the part 2 of the show. Then when you come back on and we take those chilies, that hot shit.
The thing is, I would love to. I wish I could sing. I would love to sing. But yeah, no, if I'm singing along to something. Also, usually I can't wake up until I've had like a ton of coffee and a shower.
I'm the same. 4 cups of coffee. 4 cups of coffee, and then I can function as a human being. My wife doesn't even talk to me until I've had 4 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
She's smart.
I do occasionally, not all the time, but every once in a while, if I feel like I'll but usually I sing Basket Case by Green Day. That's like
Nice.
sometimes my shower song.
You have a specific one?
Yeah, usually that one. I love that song.
I'm like you, where I need like a ridiculous amount of coffee, and I'm a miserable person to be around in the morning.
A miserable cunt.
So yeah, so I need my shower to like help me wake up. So I'm very quiet, and I'm in there for like 20 minutes just standing under the water to like try and, you know, snap out of it and be a nice person for the rest of the day.
Just in the fetal position.
On the floor with a rag in his mouth.
That's how I feel, I swear. Every morning.
Usually have to pay for that sort of service.
Not when you're married.
Even more when you're married. You've actually got to feed them, clothe them, pretend to care about their feelings. It costs so much more money now.
Yeah. You know, you're making good points.
I know.
That's the only kind of points I make.
Yeah, it's nothing but good points and right points. The only opinion that matters is mine, because I'm right all the time.
A wee touch of brilliance. I think you need to rebrand.
I need a rebrand. Yeah, you're right. I do. Well, everybody, that is all the time that we have for today. We have gone way over the hour mark, which I always like to try and set as the maximum time. But I had such a great time talking with these guys that I just decided just to let it run. You know, I just decided to let it run.
It was a pleasure.
So I had a great time talking with you guys. I hope you guys have had a good time being on the show, being here with me today.
Great time.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast. Sorry that you have to, you know, sit down with us for so long.
Oh no, my ass has gone numb.
Well, it will, especially after the bomb. We're gonna, you know, round 2.
Yeah, spicy singing.
Yeah, I think this whole thing was the whole thing was great, except for when you said I think mayonnaise is spicy.
Dude, that was that was
awesome.
Roast.
After just one conversation with you, Lawrence, I have a Rolodex of good burns I need to save to just use on these guys.
He's quick.
He is.
Oh, thank you. I've been doing the show for coming up 6 months now, so I've kind of perfected my style a little bit. You know, like having a nice little bit of banter with my guests. So that's good. And the way you guys have delivered back on some of the banter that I've given has been absolute chef kiss phenomenal. Absolutely. So there you go. Take my hat off.
Love it. Love
absolutely brilliant. So, well, everybody, that was fucking. Oh, fuck, I'm not. Oh, shit. Oh, fucking hell.
A wee touch of comedy, I guess. You could rebrand to that, too.
All right, shake it off. All right, everybody, that was Protect Your Heart on with me today. I hope you all enjoyed this week's episode. Make sure you stay tuned for next week's episode, where I will have a brand new guest. I know, a brand new guest every single week. Fucking mental, absolutely crazy madness, if you will. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because that will be an interesting conversation as well. And for everybody out there, as you know from last week when I spoke to Ken Tucker, you know, are now aware that A Wee Touch of Madness is now has a Spotify page, and we also have our official Spotify playlist where we have the music on of all the previous guests. A couple of choice music that I liked are going to be on that playlist for everybody to listen, and it gets updated every single week. So make sure you check that out, get that playlist saved, because these guys' music is going to be on there as well. If you want to find out more about these guys, make sure you check out the description, click on their links, find out more about them on their social media. And in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed yourselves with this, because I fucking certainly did, and I think these guys definitely fucking did.
Yes,
Pleasure.
We had a blast.
You rock,
Thank
man.
You for having us.
Oh, stop it. If I had a shave, you'd see me blush. Stop flirting with me. I'm married, for fuck's sake. Stop it.
I'm single,
yet.
baby.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not married yet. Yes, you're right.
So you're telling me there's a chance. Someone doesn't know that movie. They're they're off.
Oh, for fuck's sake! I'm trying to end the show. Do you mind?
Okay, yeah,
Let
we're
him
gonna
end
be
it,
here
let him
till
end
like
it, let him
7.
end it.
So I will see you all next week. So stay safe, and I will catch you later.